Remember, the first no from a customer is a knee-jerk no. And so the knee-jerk no is the one they already had in the chamber anyway. You didn't earn that one. That one was free. The rest of them you got to earn. So don't fall after the first objection. Don't fall after the first no. You are going to see your whole sales career change if you go beneath the first no. Now, here's how you do it. All right, TSL, let's get it, man. TSL on sales. Now, today's episode is also that way you can learn on the go. The TSL on sales is also on Spotify, so that way you can learn on the go. You don't have to worry about people looking over your shoulders or anything like that. You can pump it in your ears, so while you're sitting there working on your next moves, whatever it is that you need to do, you're learning all along the way. So quickly, man, we're going to talk about two different topics, maybe three, but definitely two. And the first topic, man, I want to talk about to get your sales game right, man, is more than that, is high resistance offer with low resistance action. And so when you have a high resistance offer, meaning that is something that a customer is going to naturally object to. It's high resistance. And so many times if you leave it on a high resistance, then when you get the no, it's a no and that's the end of it. But if you learn to train yourself to, if you have to, when you make an offer and it's high resistance, then always end with low resistance action. Because see, if there's low resistance action at the end of it, if it tails off that way, then all the customer has to do is they just have to agree. So, case in point. Now, everything I talk about is in the car business because that's how I am. But you can swap all these techniques out. You can swap them out for whatever profession that you're in. So, customer is him and hawing. He's then been there. He's driven the vehicle, but he's not ready to commit. Got to go home, but he's asking buying questions. He's asking about what kind of terms are you offering and stuff like that. So, there's a wide opening. So you make the offer, high resistance. Tell you what, let's get a credit app. Let me see what you qualify for. Now, here's what I'll say. Let me jump in on this too. Depending on my confidence level and depending on what kind of influence I have over the situation, sometimes I use, let me get a credit application. Credit has a trigger mechanism to it, which many times when customers hear credit, especially if they're not all the way committed, they freeze up and they say no, they revolt back, high resistance. So depending on the situation, sometimes I'll do it just to shake up the situation. I'll say, look, let me get a credit app from you, see what I can get you qualified for. That is sometimes. Sometimes though, depending, and if my confidence is low, then sometimes what I'll do is I'll say, look, let me get a little information from you to see what I can get you qualified for. Information has a softer edge. It's the same thing, but information has a softer edge to it. And because it does, I'm more likely to move along. So case in point, customer's hemming and hawing. He's not really ready to buy anything. I'm going to call you when I get home, blah, blah, blah. Okay. High resistance offer. Okay. Tell you what, let me get some information from you, see what I can get you qualified for. Now, but I don't let them answer. Now I end with a low resistance offer. The low resistance offer is what already fits into their narrative, what they've already been saying. In this case, this guy has been saying, I'm going to go home. So I make the high resistance offer and I come behind with the low resistance action. So look, let me get some information from you. See what I can get you qualified for. That way, I mean, you're here, we might as well, here's the low resistance offer. You're here, let's go ahead and get that part out of the way. So that way, when you decide which direction that you want to go, you call me up and say, Marsh, look, let's go ahead and go with this one. Okay? That way, see, it's agreeable. It fits into the narrative of the guy already wanting to leave because he feels like I'm obligated if I just say, hey, let me get some credit application. Oh, I don't want to buy today. They feel like they're obligated. But if I end it with a low resistance offer, bro, you're here. I mean, while you're here, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. That way, man, it's going to eliminate all the time. So that way, when you decide, and hey, if you want to hold off, that's fine too. Low resistance offer. Then it makes it easier for the customer to say, oh, okay. Now, here's what's crazy. When you get the offer down, the resistance down, then it moves into the OL process. Because once you can get past the initial tension of the no, and they've opened up and given you more sensitive information, then it rolls on to the yeah, let's see. Because once I get the information, then I say, look, while you're here, why don't we just sit down and look at everything? And we'll look at it on paper. If it works for you, we'll move forward. If it doesn't, that's fine too. See, these are leverage points. And if I can get to the next leverage point, then I can keep my sales process going. Now, so that's for a credit situation. Let's take a situation where a customer wants to call their insurance. Marsh, I want to call my insurance company. Many objections are stalls. They're not real objections. If I make a high resistance offer and end it with a low resistance action, then many times what it'll do is it'll flush out the real objection. Because let me call the insurance, they'll say, nah, I want to go home. And I'm really not sold on the color. Then the real objection comes out. Beautiful, thank you. I'm glad the real objection actually came out. That's exactly what I needed. So in this case, in the insurance, let me call my insurance. Marsh, I'll get back to you. Let me call my insurance. High resistance offer. Well, why don't we call the insurance company? If I left it at that, what's it going to be? No. Okay. And then what most salespeople do is, well, I asked them, they said no. But if I come behind with, or if I actually finish with a low resistance offer, then I say, look, why don't we call the insurance while you're here? Who's your insurance company? Kurt Beckham, State Farm. Why don't we call Kurt and we'll give him the VIN number and everything like that. And then that way, I don't let them answer. That way, if they have any questions as far as what equipment is on the vehicle, then I'll be able to, safety equipment, stuff like that, I'll be able to answer that for them. Because if we don't give them that information, your insurance premium could be too high. And you don't want that. You don't want your premium to be high. This serves two purposes. If the customer, it flushes out the real objection, if there was a real objection. If that's what the objection was, then once they call the insurance company, what happens if you let the customer leave and call the insurance? If they go home and call the insurance and the insurance is too high, what's going to happen? You think they're going to call you and say, hey, Corey, my insurance is too high. I'm going to go shop somewhere else. No, what they're going to do is go away and go shop for with Nat over there at his place. Okay? That's how all that works. But if I have the customer here and we call the high resistance offer, look, let's call the insurance company while you're here. That way I can give them the information. We can go over all the safety features. That way we can get the most favorable premiums for you. Okay? High resistance offer, low resistance action. Okay? That way if the premium is too high, oh, I can't afford that. They say because this model falls into this category. If they're still with me, I have the opportunity that I can show them something different. Otherwise, if you're not there and you don't make the high resistance offer, low resistance action, then I don't get that opportunity. All right, I got to go talk to my spouse. We hear that one all the time. High resistance offer. Why don't you call your spouse? Why don't you call him or her? No, I ain't doing that. Okay. High resistance offer, low resistance action. Look, why don't you call your wife? Why don't you call your husband? That way, if they have any questions, because look, I know you and I, we discussed a lot of different stuff. And you and I together, we know where we are. But if you go home and you try to explain all this, sometimes, man, it can get overwhelming. It can get confusing because I'm sure you looked at other models too. So high resistance offer. Why don't we call her while we're here? That way I can answer any questions. And then that way, fit into the narrative, that way when you guys are home tonight and discussing it, then we're all on the same page. I don't want the customer to go home and talk about it tonight if at all possible. But I have to fit that into the narrative so that way I can get past the next stage. Once I can get to the next stage, if there is another direction we can go with this, if we can continue on, then great. If we can't, if that's where it is until another time, then that's fine too. But at least I got past that first high initial resistance stage. See, bro, this is the reason why you can buy a purple mattress online, sleep on it for 120 days and return it. It's high resistance offer is, do you want to buy a mattress? It's the best thing ever. You can buy it online, never sleep on it, because we all think we got to go to mattress galleries, lay on 20 different mattresses, and then we pick out the mattress. No. So they make a high resistance offer online Buy the mattress online. We'll ship it to you. Sleep on it for 120 days. They're reducing the risk as time goes on, as the narrative goes on. Sleep on it for 120 days, and if you don't like it, return it back. Now let me ask you this. How many people are ripping that mattress back off their bed, putting it on top of their roof, taking it to the UPS store and shipping it back? None. They know that. They know that. And the few that do, they can stomach that. So it's high resistance offer. Buy a mattress online is totally something you've never done before. High resistance offer, low resistance action. We'll break the payments down, keep it for 120 days. If you don't like it, we'll return it back. Okay? Case in point. So anytime, man, you feel that pull, you feel that no coming at you, and you're going to make a high resistance offer, which you must make a high resistance offer, always come behind. When you're deep into the deal, end it with a low resistance action. Okay? Now, second thing that we're going to talk about also, which kind of falls in line with this, but it's really more earlier on in the process, most salespeople fall after the first no. They do. They fall after the first no. Customer says no, and because the whole time they've been with the customer has been saying no the whole time, whether their body language or whether verbally or all together, all the way across the board, whatever the case may be. So when you have this, most salespeople fall after the first no. So you've got to learn to train yourself to go past and find another way after the first no, okay? Because remember, the first no from a customer is a knee-jerk no. And so the knee-jerk no is the one they already had in the chamber anyway. You didn't earn that one. That one was free. The rest of them you got to earn. So don't fall after the first objection. Don't fall after the first no. You are going to see your whole sales career change if you go beneath the first no. Now, here's how you do it. You've got to move from they're not buying today. Okay, get out of that mindset. I know they ain't buying today. Even if I did get them to do it, they ain't buying it today. Get out of that. Okay, move from to get beneath the first no. All I'm worried about is going one layer deeper. I really want you to go 4 or 5, but let's go one layer deeper, and you're going to see things change for you. So if you go one layer deeper, and the customer says no, then what you do is you finish it with a clarifying statement. Many times, now this is more applicable on the front side of your sales when you're just starting out, that resistance. Many times, high resistance, low offer, that works deeper into the sale when you're trying to make the sale. This works better. Instead of looking at it as they ain't buying today, I look at it as what's one more way I can offer. Okay, so when the customer says, and so what I'll do is I'll purposefully hold back the clarifying statement because I know the first no is coming. Because the first no is coming, I'll make the offer. Look, tell you what, let's drive it today. I know the no is coming because it was hard for them to even get out of the car. Okay, so no, I knew that was coming. Now I come behind with a clarifying statement, something that makes sense for the customer. Everything you say has to make sense for them, not to you, to them. So I'll come behind. Boom, won't we drive it today? No, I'm not doing that today, Marsh. Tell you what, we might as well drive it now. And the reason why I say that is because I know you love the color. I know you love the options. I know you love the look, and you've been wanting this car since you were 15 years old. But you may drive this car and it may be something totally that you didn't expect. You may not even like it. How many salespeople are selling against their own product? And see, that lines up. Every other salesperson is trying to defend their product when I'm saying, look, you may drive it and not even like it. And if you don't like it, there's no need to come back. So we might as well take care of it now. When you get that, when you go beneath, see, that's another way. It's not, they're not buying today. It's looking at it another way where the customer says, I'm telling you, if you think of things like that, just what's one more way I can offer another way? Customers are saying no to what's already the logic in their mind. Okay? If you can offer them, you're an options trader. That's all we are as salespeople. We're options trader. So if you can swap one option out, one objection for another option, dude, it's going to change your whole landscape. It's going to change your whole game. But you're falling short and you're not able to convert more sales because you're falling after the first no. You throw something out there, customer says no, dearly departed, we're done. Okay? If you look at it, what's one more way I can offer this? And dude, if you just don't know it all, you take the last words that they said and you use that for the next question, for the next sentence. And if you do that, man, you're going to train yourself, you're going to condition yourself to, and you come behind with real easy, simple, agreeable things. Look, while you're here, it's just as easy to go ahead and do that. We might as well. I don't want to use vehicle. Okay, here's one. Customer's looking at a new vehicle, you got to switch into a used vehicle. Nah, I don't want to use. Most salespeople, hey boss, they don't want to use one. But if you instead you say, look, I get it. This one's going to fall more into your budget. We can do this with no money down. It's got the right equipment. It's got everything that you want on the vehicle. So I'll tell you what, let's pull it up. Let's know for sure that you don't want it, than to sit here and assume that you do. So tell you what, you're under no obligation. I just want to make you another offer. Okay? You pull it up, you drive it, you come back, you put their hands in their pocket, and you say, what's the notes on this thing again? Boom. But you would not have gotten that had you not gone beneath the first no. All right? That's it. Because I got one more, but I'm going to save it for next Saturday.